everyone. Alan Shimel, DevOps TV, DevOps.com, here at IBM's Interconnect 2017 show on the exhibit floor here at Mandalay Bay. Joined by two folks from IBM's hybrid cloud team. We have Jose Ortiz and Shajeer Mohammed. I didn't mess that up too bad, did I?
Not that bad.
Okay, you've heard worse. Gentlemen, you're here, we were talking a little bit off camera, and we were speaking about some new offerings that your team has come out with to help companies organize sort of we live in a hybrid cloud world, right? We have private cloud, we have public cloud, we have on-prem, and increasingly companies don't want 3 or 4 or 2 different management in infrastructure. We want one infrastructure that allows us to manage this. And IBM and your team's rolling out a new offering around this, is that true?
That's correct. We're looking at how companies can basically connect and manage their on-prem and off-prem clouds, or public and private clouds. And we're coming up with an offering that allows us to basically help them create their infrastructure as code in the different clouds, in addition to us having an operations view of those clouds in a consolidated way, and then integrate to their control planes, whether they're using it on those clouds or they have their own control planes. So kind of giving them a single point where they can manage those assets, but then integration into those components so they can take advantage of the assets that they have purchased from those clouds.
Got it. And increase, at least for the foreseeable future. I'll be retired by the time it's done, but we're not going to go to an all public cloud infrastructure. Especially depending on the industry and the vertical, they're not comfortable moving everything to a public cloud. So this hybrid model is what we're going to be living with for the next 10 years probably.
Correct.
At least.
And we need to think hybrid a little bit even broader than just on-prem and on-prem. You have scenarios that are hybrid that we're actually highlighting with the product, where you can have, even on your public cloud, you may be running in Amazon, but you may be using Watson services in IBM. That's a hybrid scenario.
Yeah.
Because you're actually combining 2 clouds. And then how you tie that into your DevOps pipeline to make sure that as you're putting the infrastructure that you may already have there, you may want to increase and then get the binding into the Watson services, and then have a DevOps pipeline manage your application with those updates into the infrastructure solution that you already have, and then connect to those services. And those are some of the scenarios where we're actually trying to look at.
So it's not just the platform per se, right? It's also the apps and tools you're using to manage your own data and your own applications. Makes a lot of sense. So, forgive me, I didn't get your roles within the team. Why don't you share with our audience a little bit?
I'm Jose Ortiz. I'm an SDSM in IBM, and I'm the lead architect of what we call the cloud automation platform. So I look at how we're building the components in as a SaaS offering, and in future with Shajeer, how we're going to basically take those same components in on-prem. So my responsibility is across all the components and looking at both the SaaS and the local. And then the other aspect is I run the future outlooks into scenarios that we want to look into. How do we want to connect Cloud Automation Manager with Watson and then offer additional cognitive pieces? So
I'm going to follow up with that in a second, but first we got to let Shajeer talk about it.
Yeah, so I work closely with Jose, on the hybrid cloud management platform. So I look at stuff like how to run this also in your local environment, and then how can you manage multiple clouds. So we work very closely with each other on this new platform offering that IBM is providing.
Got it. So when we talk about platforms and so forth, obviously there's AWS, there's Azure, there's Google, there's Bluemix, the IBM clouds, and then there's the whole private on-prem thing. Could be Cloud Foundry, VMware. We haven't even talked about Docker and containers and all of that. It was a lot easier when I was younger. Right?
It was.
All of that.
Yeah.
But it's a very fragmented.
Correct.
That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah, it is very fragmented.
How do you have a tool that brings that all together?
Correct.
So,
I'm
going to use
the whole map platform, right? that is what we're trying to cover, right? From your old age VMs to the new world containers, you want a single platform that allows you to manage the entire thing. You want to pick up the best of the breed stuff, right, wherever you want to run it. So that is one of the key, offerings or features
Drivers
that,
for this.
that we are trying to drive, right? It doesn't matter whether you have VMs or you have containers, right? It is the application that is running on top of it should be a primary concern, and let the platform do the remaining stuff.
So, in a lot of ways, I think that does kind of represent the future we have to move in, which is, call it platform independence, right? For lack of a better word right now. We just let them do their thing, right? I don't care whether you're using VM or containers. I don't care whether you're using Kubernetes or Docker even to a certain extent. But I need to manage all of this. I need to have insight into all of it. And I mean, and that's it's a great mission for an IBM.
Yeah, and that's basically our starting point. Is start looking at how you combine all these different components that are defining different characteristics, but at least give you a way and a common entry point into all of them, but then give the flexibility that you can use those. Like,
Got it.
Not force fit everybody into here's an old standard that IBM created for this component and how you define them, but use the open technology or the provided technologies by those components, and we're just providing a library and a way to manage that library and then connect and manage the assets as we're deploying it.
Got it. Now, where are we in terms of this actually rolling out as a product or a service?
Correct. So we're
today?
starting as a SaaS. So our premise is we're going to release SaaS first and local second. Type mentality.
So the SaaS is available today?
Correct. And we're going to have a version releasing at the end of the month.
And where would people find out about this?
It's going to be available in Bluemix. It's a service available in Bluemix. It's called Cloud Automation Manager. It's a service.
It's Cloud Automation Manager.
Okay. And then we're going to start with what we call the template support to define components, infrastructure as code. That's our starting point to start defining on how we basically manage the different clouds with that mentality. And then we're going to be periodically augmenting the functionality with additional features that will enhance the platform from a management perspective.
So one of the key things about this approach is, right, is infrastructure as code, right? And how you can manage it, you can version control it, and you can write it once and use it many times, right? So the whole concept is from your old age concept of defining a VM manually to actually writing code for your infrastructure. You define how many CPUs, how much memory, and the whole stuff is written as code, and you kind of deploy that code, and then it'll give you infrastructure, regardless where it goes and get deployed. So that is one of the key differentiation for this product.
Sure.
Is how do you define the infrastructure?
So when I look at this, though, this is now representing sort of second, third generation. But I think before we were coming to grips with just using the cloud. Then we started coming to grips with, I might have more than one cloud, right? Or now we're really attacking the reality of you're going to live in a hybrid cloud, and when I say hybrid, I mean in many different ways, right? And how do we manage that? How do we optimize for it? And to me, so that's almost like third gen, or if you will. Recognizing the reality of where we're going to be for the foreseeable future and optimizing for it. So that sounds great. Any idea pricing on the offering or how this?
We actually starting with a free tier in Bluemix. Over time, we're going to start adding on a per instance that we manage type pricing. So it's a pay as you go. So we have some tiers, and then at some point, basically, we'll start adding to the tier.
It's kind of the new model.
So it's the new model of per.
See if you like it. Try it as you like it, then you'll pay as you go.
Try it, then you pay for what you use, and you don't have to do any upfront investment. So
that's the model. That's what people want to have.
In our case, it pays for what you're managing, but that's the
absolutely
that's the path.
Well, guys, this sounds like a real exciting, great new offering down the pike here for hybrid cloud management, and wish you the best with it. Thanks for being our guest today on DevOps TV and DevOps.com. We hope to hear more about this soon.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Jose, Sabir, Thanks for being our guest.
Thank you.
This is Alan Shimel for DevOps TV and DevOps.com.